many times of when you want to help, be sure and ask what they want, because you could be building your dream for them and it have nothing to do with what they really want for themselves. So I feel like we bridged that gap this trip too, and understanding what their needs really are. A lot of them really want to learn English. That's going to be an easy thing to help implement too. Oh, this is another one of their houses. 5 people sleep in here. 6, sorry. Those are, the 2 white things are mosquito nets, and then the hammocks and the beds. And these kids were so happy and so proud to show us their house. They just like any other kid would when you take them back to their little rooms. This is their water that they bring in from 2 miles away. It's a little outdoor bathtub looking thing. You'll notice the cardboard wall, but this is where they get their clean-ish water and wash their clothes and bathe, in that order. So that's the visual of what I was up to last week, and a little bit about what we left behind, a little bit what's coming next. And now I need to put that into a 2 to 3 minute presentation form and or a 15 to 20 minute talk. And I would love your feedback at this point.
Those are crazy pictures, JoAnna.
Thanks.
Pretty cool.
Not even all of those are just the ones I took. We actually have a community Dropbox we're working through, and we did take a lot of professional pictures too. So I think what I said earlier, the pictures are worth 1,000,000 words in this case.
Yeah. So you said you wanted to do a 2 to 3 minute presentation for who? Who's your audience?
Well, probably the 2 to 3 minute fundraising pitch. You know, if I get a chance to be in front of a meeting before it starts, or a Rotary group, or whoever would be willing to hear what we're doing.
Okay.
Then the longer opportunities would be in volunteerism and, like I said before, gratitude, and just putting into place what that really means.
Yeah. It seems like you can you can do that however you want. I guess it would just depend, excuse me, who your audience is. You know, once you figure out who you're going to speak to, how you want to, use that material. Because like you said, you could go a couple different ways with it. So
I'd like to do about a 2-minute video online a 2-minute video online that can be broadcast or be available on my website or Haley or our Soul Sparkle website.
What's the call to action?
We have a source that they can donate to directly to raise the $10,000 for the houses.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking for individual and corporate sponsorships to do that.
Okay, so that's the goal, is 10 grand for the houses?
Well, it's 10 grand each, so it's 100,000 total.
Oh, okay.
Brian, do you want to go? Look, I've got a lot of feedback, so I could fill up all the time. So I'll get started. Look, I love the pictures. Love them. I think it's some great stuff. So I'll talk about your 2 to 3 minute presentation. Why are you doing this?
Because I am passionate about helping these ladies make a difference in their lives and their children's lives. And this, being able to get them clean housing, safe housing, will affect generations.
Start with that.
Okay.
Right? First thing, I want to connect with you.
Okay.
Tell me what made you do this, right? So do that, your little setup. Look, I got involved with the charity and I'd like to talk to you about it. And then get into that piece. And what I want to do is this. As far as structure, you remember, you want to tell a story. So first, in my opinion, show the pictures of how they're living now, right? I want to affect them things. So let me show you this community. Because I didn't quite understand the community. You didn't make that clear for me. I was trying to put it together as you were speaking. So here's a community of women in Nicaragua. Paint that picture for me with your pictures a little bit. Tell them that some of the stuff that you hit was great. And I just want to make sure I hit it. homes washed away, preparing food, smoke inhalation. So you're going to have to pick out how you do that quickly, because all of that was really powerful, in my opinion. When you were just talking about it, it was really, really interesting. Then you're going to say, what you're going to do to help. What I like what you're going to do is you're going to say, look, we saw an immediate need, which is shoes. And I would tell that story, that little quick story there, 30 seconds, like, saw an immediate need with shoes. Here's couldn't get rid of him, wanted to help out with everything. I'm holding him. I love that story. Like when you talked about it, you lit up, right? And you're holding the picture of the kid with the shoes. He came back the next day wearing his shoes. We knew we were making an impact here. And then when you talked about great stuff that you talked about, and I'm trying to get all the pieces here, where it was like, you don't understand that because they have dirt floors, they have this, this, and this. That's why it's so important to get these shoes to them, right? Oh yeah, I can see that. That's going to pull me in. That's the parts that pulled me in. And then you want to make the thing, but we realized that we wanted to be there long term. I wanted to fix them for generations. So I thought to myself, how can I do that? And I have a jewelry line. I said, maybe I can give them the opportunity to make jewelry for me, right? So I gave them the tools. I gave them, so you talk about the things that you did, right? And therefore they can get money that they can sell. And then you tell that the picture with the little turtles on it, right? That little transition, those little pieces there are excellent. And then you can close that in 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So that's your tight version. Your longer version is the exact same thing, only more detail.
Okay.
All right. That's the way I would structure it. Remember.
Thank you.
It's a story. And then you just all you do is plug in at the end. It's what we said. Point. You're telling your story. The point is we're going to make a difference in these people's lives for generations to come. And that's what got me excited about taking this. And I love that term, volunteerism. Never heard it before.
Volunteerism. Mm-hmm.
Volunteerism.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. I don't know if that's something that's.
It's a term.
It's a term. I didn't know. I've never heard it before, but I really liked it. It'll also be something that will get people curious, in my opinion.
Oh, and of course they can sign up to go back with us.
So do your piece there and then say, so what I'm here to do is I'm here to ask you to help us build those homes. And you show that picture of maybe side by side of where they are to maybe what a completed home looks like, if it's possible.
I do have those.
Because if you have that, that's going to be like, oh, I see, right? I want to help. Oh, I can. What can I do? What is the shoes the best way to go, or is it money? Please tell me what I can do to help you. I mean, it was a fantastic story, JoAnna. I mean, it really was. And I think if you just craft it as a story and your build, like, look, this is the problem. Oh yeah, I agree with you. It's a problem. I can see why.
This really helps because I'm still really emotionally juggled with the story of how to, like it's still every one of those pictures. I'm like, oh, what are they doing this morning? So having this very quick feedback from you guys as far as how recent to my experience helped a tremendous amount. So thank you for allowing me to present it so raw.
No, but here's the things. I mean, this is in my opinion, what we're doing. Sometimes you haven't prepared it as much, and that's okay. And one of the things I want us to do is to do these things ad hoc, just do them quickly and get some feedback and get started on it. But look, this is compelling stuff. The video you have, just tell them, look, I saw a problem. You did? What's the problem? Right? You're pulling me in. And I got excited about it because of this. Oh yeah, I'm getting excited about it too. Just hearing about it. And you show the shoes, like that picture of the shoes, and then present state, future state, where you're going to take them to. So you're taking them through an arc of a story. And you've got all the elements of it to be a killer story, killer video, and killer 15-minute call to action or 3-minute call to action. It's just editing it down. So I would just say really well done for a kind of a raw piece there. Just look at what you're doing. Keep to that format and that call to action. Take me through a journey. Look at what the problem is. Look at what we're going to do. Ooh, how can I help?
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my feedback.
Thank you.
JoAnna, I was going to ask you, have you journaled about this experience yet?
No, I really haven't. And I get challenged on these types of trips to get it all downloaded enough to be able to write. So I was really glad to have you guys holding me accountable to this project, because this is not something that's sitting in the back of my mind for days. So that's a good point. And there's probably going to be some stories that come out of that journaling that will contribute to this.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to worry about any structure. Just write, just write and let it go. And then, like you said, you'll probably start writing about something and go, oh yeah, that's the opening story, or that's the opening line, or I think, like you said, it's just so much right now, and there is a lot of emotion to it. I find it very helpful just to write it out. So
thank you for that.
Sure. Seems like a great.
I'd love to be able to refer back to it in 2 years, 3 years, and go, oh gosh, remember when we first started this project? Because what's exciting to me is it does have a start and an end. Sometimes you're not going to feed every hungry child in Africa, but in this case, there's a structure to work within that has a goal that's going to be long lasting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Brian?
This is interesting because there's an echo with our monitors here because she's on the other side of the wall. All right. So what worked well for me, if I go under the, did you connect, did you get a message across? Did you teach, entertain, and motivate? I thought you connected well with the story, got my attention on that. I'd seen those pictures before, and it just connected with that. Did I learn something? Yes. Was I entertained? Yes. Was I motivated from that? Yes. What would have worked better for me is obviously figuring out what message you were trying to come across with and being clear on that. And God, you have so many different messages you could go with it. You could run this speech, and that's why I suggested you call Karen Prawl about this, because you could do this to connect with agents in one way about whatever, there's so many different ways you could go with this. What worked better for me is the pictures. You have the pictures distorted.
Yeah.
And it's you pull them. You got to keep, Chris did that webinar about that as I was.
These came off my phone, but we were preparing a Dropbox that's going to be high resolution and better formatted. So.
Well, I don't know if you pulled the pictures to fit the screen or not, but they were squished. So, and I was trying to figure out if it was my computer or what. I was going to walk into the room and check on that. But I think that really adds to the story of that. Some of the pictures, as you were talking about them, you actually skipped to the next picture as you were talking about a previous picture. And if you're going to just go through them like all these pictures, I like it. As long as it's not directly you're talking about something that you already passed up on, keep that on. And you have some pictures that are horrific on there. And I think that is perfect as long as you have it tie into the message, or you have some sort of solution to it. Either you've created or that you explain in the story something to it, just to, wow, that then what? What though? The other part of this too is I know you're sharing the story, and it's one of those captivating stories. But would work better is just some kind of audience participation in that. It is so, my eyes are drawn to it. Like I said, if I changed the pictures, I would have been even more drawn to that. But some sort of audience participation in there. And this is one of those things that you can just tell the story and people are just, their jaws are dropped. But the biggest thing for me is that tying that message. What do you want to share? And I really think you can do the same exact speech with 3 different clear messages. Here, we want people to donate to this because we don't want volunteerism, where people come, try to make a difference, and they probably do more damage than they help. This is something that will help and stay with them. Or a message would be to real estate agents. You could say, look, you think you got it rough? Here we go. You're living in the top half of 1% of 1% of people out there. If you're making more than a household making more than $75,000 a year, you are living in the top in the world. these people every day, this is what they have here. So maybe it's just an appreciation thing. Maybe it's you don't want to get out there and make these phone calls or knock on doors or open houses. These people are struggling to be alive, and they're happy. I don't know. There's something with real estate in there.
Even the roof over our heads is universal.
And another thing, it just could be not asking for anything, just can be an appreciation for stuff, and you just connect with people. So I could come up with more ideas for a message on this, but I think you've got so many different stories in there with those pictures. Align the pictures with the story, and speak to any audience with this, and just the call to action. What do you want them to do with this? And I think you already have it from your previous speeches. This is the story.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a lot of different directions that you can go with this. For me, I see it as your call to action, but you can bring it into your work, like you were saying, Brian, about real estate, and just say, guys, I want to just talk about a minute about appreciation. We're selling homes. Let's look at where some other people are. So I want you to think of this when you're going through difficult and troubling times, maybe with your job or you're having trouble here. So remember and be thankful for what you have. And these are things that giving back can be a part of it. So maybe you could do a soft sell on it without even just being people like, oh gosh, JoAnna, I was really impressed with what you said. It really motivated me, reminded me to be thankful and grateful. Is there anything I can do to help? So it can be a very soft sell.
Oh yeah, they can buy a piece of jewelry, they can send some money, they can go on the next trip. Yeah, there's lots of ways to.
Yeah, so I think I really like the idea that Brian is also tying it back to your business. So like I said, there's a lot you can do with this. There's a lot of it. And thank you for sharing, by the way. It was it's very inspirational to me, because like I said, I've never heard of that term before, voluntourism.
And voluntourism is a positive thing most of the time. And people, a lot of times people take these trips because they want to go do a service trip, or we're going to go to this glorious beach, but it's in a community that needs some manual labor or food or training. There's so much more that this isn't covered. They're putting in a farm, and Haley, my partner on this, is a nutrition background. So there's layers and layers to this, but it's a neat thing. And I hope one of these days my kids will be able to go with me.
That's cool.
Oh,
well, there's a dad involved. It's not particularly philanthropic.
I'll encourage you to say, I'll figure out a way. I'm just going to say.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
There you go. I'm just going to say, you'll
take the kids to a third world country.
Yeah. That was another thought I had too, is like that whole connection to nature and being happy, and everyone's on their phones these days. And, when's the last time you walked barefoot on grass or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The sand is still safe, and it's black because it's lava. And I didn't show the pictures, but there's a turtle hatchery, and every few days they hatch these turtles and let them out to the ocean. And there's some really cool, fun things that these people do for entertainment that we would never think of. And a lot of it is geography driven.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
They volcano surf. You can put on this like hazmat suit and surf down the volcano. It's on a board.
Are you kidding me?
It's wild.
Where do they get a hazmat suit?
Well, the two resorts have them available.
Oh.
I doubt the locals really do it, at least not with a hazmat suit. But
did you do it?
I did not. I decided that I needed to come back in one piece. We had too many things going on. I'm extremely clumsy.
I definitely want to know the quality control on that one.
Yeah. I saw some slings and really messed up faces from some of the people that did go. So.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Wow, that's crazy. That's cool.
Well, thank you guys for the input. It's very helpful and very consistent what everybody said. So I'm clear on what I need to do to prepare next.
Yeah. And just to back up what Brian said, as far as the connection piece, you really hit on all those points. Connection, the story. I want to make sure that you know that I got so excited about it. I wanted to help you do that, but you really, you connected with me, you inspired me, you did all the things that you should, and like I said, and you're still in a very close emotional state to it.
Mhm.
And I love what Matt said. I really think you should journal. There's going to be stories that you're going to come up with and want to remember. And maybe stuff you're going to want to put on your board, you know, a grateful board. Like, I think that was a really great idea, Matt. So
Thank you.
Chris, you should make a.
All right, so next week then, are we ready to, is everybody giving their feedback?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about, maybe we got some time here. We'll talk a little bit about scratching my bald head. This is for you guys on the screen.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it does. It does. You know. I'll tell you, this for me really worked as far as, look, I've got an idea, a story that I'm trying to develop, and I just want to tell it and then get your feedback. I think this is a key piece to this kind of keynote development, because this can become a very signature piece for you, JoAnna. You know, a realtor who cares, whatever that is, but you know, hey, I'm a person, and this is what inspires me to do this and want to do this kind of thing. There's all kinds of signature stories can come out of it with this. But I like the idea of, look, and we had spoken about it last week, and you weren't, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the video from last week.
No, I haven't.
But one of the things that we were saying is to prepare, we're going to give you a success principle topic, and you're going to go for 15 minutes and just talk about it. Just get it off the, your natural speech pattern, and you're going to try to follow in that point story application. So you keep that in the back of your mind whenever you're telling the story or you're talking about the principles, and just to get you used to speaking. And I think that's going to be another useful format in it. I think it's important to have the stuff that's prepared, but it's also important to work on that, improvisational. Look, oh, Matt, I know you're really passionate about this stuff. Can you talk to my group here right now? Can you talk to the teachers about it? And like, oh, okay, what am I going to say? It's like that immediate thing where somebody puts you on the spot and you're ready. And you're ready for the opportunity to come up. So I think this kind of free-form piece is something that should be part of this kind of mastermind, this Keynote mastermind group.
Well, it really helped me with as much content's there, and like we've already agreed, so many angles to just get your perspective on what's the most impactful. It's very helpful, because I could have written something totally different and missed some things that would have been great to add. So I think the early feedback for me on this is going to be one of the most beneficial things.
Well, good. All right. So let's talk about next week, unless you guys got something else you'd like to chat about.
I thought we were talking to was it 5 minutes or 15 minutes for the on the spot one?
I think we can do them both. So with 5 minutes?
It was 5 minutes. Last week we did 5 minutes.
I thought it was just 5 minutes for a principal on the spot,
Okay.
go type of thing. Yeah.
Let's make it an hour and a half.
No problem.
Yeah, let's just do that.
It's kind of like speed rounds, right?
Yeah. That's. I just want to clarify that. That was just, here's 5 minutes. Principle is see what you want, get what you want, go.
Right.
Yeah.
And make it your own.
Who still needs to go? Has everyone gone twice now, or Brian? Are you still only once? And Rod's once?
Yeah.
Okay. So should you two go next week then? Is that what we want to do?
Well, two things. One, this next week is going to be really crazy for me to prepare something. But then Chris was talking about the free-forming, the ideas of stuff. I'm going to have some sort of story by next week on what's going to happen this next week. And it's going to be the biggest career decision that I've ever made in my life at this point.
Okay.
So I won't have something necessarily prepared as slides or something like that, but I have a story.
All right. Well, our agenda for next week is Rod, and then we're going to do those 5 minute speed.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so I think that's,
Well, unless Brian wants to share his thing, Chris, I'd be up for that too if he wants to kind of walk it through his new topic.
Well, so let's make a call. What do we want to do? I'm fine either way.
If Rod's ready, let Rod go, and then we can do the speed rounds. Because either way, I'm not going to be prepared to present something. It's going to be on the spot either way.
Well, his speed round could be what, your
Principles did you apply?
Yeah, on things that you're working on. So let's just say that that's what we're going to do. So we'll keep the agenda for the same for next week. And then who's presenting the following week, just so I'm trying to get the agenda out, right after this meeting and the video. So what for the following week, then it would be formally, Brian, you speaking. Would that be okay? So that would be, let's see, March 4th. We're looking at March 11th. Does that work for you? Or are you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah. I mean, I gotta. Yep.
Do March 11th, and then do we want to try the feedback round, like try the speed round again for another week, and then we'll do one presentation and the speed rounds 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
I think the speed rounds are great practice for everybody. It's just and we could do speed round feedback too. Yeah. You got 2 questions. What worked well for me? One thing. What would have been better? What would have worked better for me? One thing. One sentence. Yep. It's an idea. Just we do speed rounds and speed feedback.
It has to kind of be that way.
Yeah.
Because for everybody to get a chance to say, look, this is what really worked well for me. This is what I thought you could improve. Next.
Yeah.
And so it's not long feedback. It's just quick pieces and getting yourself speaking. So I like that idea. So what I'm going to say for the March 11th, I'm going to say, Brian, you're speaking. And then we're going to do the speed rounds again. And I think this is good to just make sure that everybody speaks every week. And it may be an involvement, like we'll do everybody gets to speak once, or maybe we start with the speed rounds, then we do the formal 2 speeches, then we do some speed rounds just to mix it up a little bit, because I think it's important for people to get that time, that preparation time to do a formal speech and get feedback on that also. All right, but I like it. So March 11th, Bryant, and speed rounds.
I've got these, I love these little sand timers. I got them for different minutes and seconds. So we can do it on feedback too. You can actually,
right.
It's like, this is the 5-minute one. Here's the here's 30 seconds of feedback. Okay. And obviously, all right, we're done. Next, and then I have them for different times. This is 10 minutes. I got them for every different minutes type of thing.
Oh, that's funny, man. I like that. Can I do a speed round on the dog that was on Chris's bed wearing a cone?
And his name's Kona, by the way.
Hey, can I ask you guys a quick question before we wrap up? Are you guys listening or reading or doing anything with anybody else that you're really into right now? Like Tony Robbins, Oprah, Simon Sinek. Are you guys on to anything else that you're enjoying that I could look at?
I'll give you my go-to book, Launching a Leadership Revolution. It is the single best handbook for leadership I've ever read. It is written by 2 people on the top 50 list of leadership and management experts by Inc. magazine.
Can you say the title again?
Launching, I'll get it for you. Hang on.
I told Chris this already, you guys, but I've been doing oh, here we go.
So here it is.
Scoot it back a little bit. Scoot it back a little bit. Hey, ooh, fancy.
Warren Woodward, Chris Brady are the authors. I mean, this thing, I've marked up this book, and I will tell you, one of the things I learned from the way they read it is when you read these books, you want to highlight it and underline it. The advantage of doing that, and then you want to talk to them. It's like a conversation. You talk to them say like, oh, that was a really good point, or I don't know if I quite agree with that. So you make it more like a conversation, and you'll retain it a lot better when you do it that way. So when you underline it, the things that connect with you, you've read it once, you've read it again, and then what I do is when you go through a book like this, even like Success Principles or whatever else, when you finish the chapter, go back and reread it. Then you've read it 3 times. The things that really stuck out with you, they'll stick a lot longer with you. And
can I just buy your book with the underlined markings already?
It's mine. No.
The Chris note.
Wait. Fee. For a fee, I will do that.
Yeah.
But this book's got, it's got a quote I use almost every time I present in it. And probably the page that's on.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that Simon Sinek's, start with why. I've gotten onto that again. That's been pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh, you had a presentation book that you that you were looking into.
I showed you, I got the Steve Jobs one. I think JoAnna and Brian frozen? Oh, Brian's gone.
He wants
JoAnna,
taking notes.
Yeah, this has been a quick read. And it's really good. It's easy, it's fast, and it gives you just some good pointers, especially on probably your small presentations. I think it could help you out.
Cool.
JoAnna. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, Chris, because like I said, I listen to this stuff all the time when I'm in my car, working out, and it's just good to hear different voices on the topic, so I appreciate it.
So here's the quote that I use almost all the time. Oh. Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry, false leader there. I put it in my presentation folder. You'd think I'd memorized the page by now.
Chris, I got this from Amazon.
Oh, good, man. So guys, that is the book I recommended on my speech one. So let me pull it.
I don't know if you guys can see this.
You get it for less than $5 on Amazon.
I paid the $9 just to get free shipping. That's how I roll.
Those are good books.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. Brian, did you have a book you want to share, JoAnna? Are you good?
I haven't done much reading the last week, and I bought that one that Rod suggested. Actually, he didn't suggest it. It was on his vision board. The Instant Income with Janet Switzer, who co-authored Jack. So I could use some instant income. So that's on the top of my desk right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, mine is not something that you guys would necessarily relate.
Yeah, really. Our new business plan.
Oh, nice.
So cool. It's got a lot of, in parts of it, it's got a lot of Canfield-esque type stuff. They quote Mark Victor Hansen in here a few times on things. But a lot of it is breaking down the whole budget model type of stuff.
Wow.
Which it's real interesting in that respect. So it's breaking it down to, it's kind of like taking this, breaking it down to your specific industry and breaking it down to actual raw numbers of what it would be, what needs to be done, how it needs to be set up. This is the model for it. And that's how the first part of it felt like it could be another chapter of Canfield's books. So anyways.
Yeah, you guys, especially with your Nicaragua trip, I don't know how you guys market, but every house I sell, I'm donating money to this fund. So, use me as a referral, because when you work with me, you help the community and the world too. So that could be a good selling point. I don't know if you do. Do you do that already? Well,
I'm doing it with my jewelry line. I'm donating a large percentage of the profits back to this group, but a couple house deals here and there would be good. I've done it at different times for different seasons for things, but this is a good thing, especially probably even as it affects my Tulsa business, because people know me there and know that I do this kind of thing regularly. So
yeah, I'm trying to sell 10 houses a month so I can donate, $100,000 a year so I can hit these goals. Something like that would be a great story to potential clients. So
I've just put that on my marketing
nice.
Checklist of things projects I'm working on.
Nice, good.
Absolutely. That's a great idea, Matt. I have a friend of mine she sells real estate for schools and says, I'll donate $1,000 to your school if you do this, but you can tie it into this.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to drop off. I'm going to, it's opening day for baseball. So I'm off to throw the baseball and around and go in the bounce house because I like to do that.
I got to go too because I'm a big deal around here. Too.
Oh, yeah. Well, right. All right. Well, I'll end with gratitude. Awesome stuff. JoAnna, thank you so much for sharing. This was great for me. And it was also great to see a story kind of raw. So I appreciate you doing both of those things today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Everyone have a great day.
All right. Thank you. See you next week.
Bye, sweeties.
Bye.
Bye, sweeties.